10. Shi Zhimeng of the capital city during the Liu Song dynasty. Shi Zhimeng, a native of Xinfeng County, Jingqiao in Yangzhou, had an uncommon intellectual gift and acted nobly and purely. He joined the monastic order in his youth, practiced Buddhism with concentration and assiduity, and recited the sutras day and night. Each time that he listened to stories told by foreign sramanas about the relics and Mahayana doctrines, such as the Vaitulya Sutra, in India, he was always amazed and yearned for them. Shi Zhimeng would imagine that 10,000 miles could be shortened into a few steps and that 1,000 years could be traced back. Thus, in the 6th year of the Hongxi period under the later Qin dynasty, he gathered 15 persons with the same aspiration, departed from Chang'an, crossed rivers 36 times, and arrived in Liangzhou. Then, they traveled westwards, went through the Yangguan Pass, and entered the deserts to the west of Dunhuang. They experienced twofold hardship and danger in comparison to their predecessors. Shi Zhimeng's group traveled through the kingdoms of Shanshan, Kucha, and Khotan among others, learning the local customs and conditions. They traveled from Khotan to the west for about 1,000 kilometers, arrived at Pamir, and climbed it. At this moment, 9 persons had quit. The companions continued for another 800 kilometers and reached Baltistan. Zhu Daosong, who was on the team, unfortunately died there. When Shi Zhimeng tried to cremate his Dharma brother's body, the body abruptly disappeared. Shi Zhimeng was surprised and sad. He then struggled to move on. With the 4 survivors, he crossed snowy mountains and the Indus River and arrived in Jiban, where 500 arahants frequently journeyed between the city and Anavatapta Lake. 1. Virtuous Arhat was very happy with Shi Zhimeng's arrival. While the latter asked him about local customs and circumstances, this Arhat narrated anecdotes and conditions under the sun. All of these are recorded in Voyage in Foreign Countries by Shi Zhimeng. The travelers saw the spittoon of patterned stone, left by the Buddha in Kasa, and worshipped the Buddha's bowl in Jiban. The bowl was purplish-red and decorated with patterns. Shi Zhimeng offered flowers and incense to the bowl, placing it on his head and praying for it to let him feel the change of its weight if it had superpowers. Instantly, the bowl became too heavy for Shi Zhimeng to bear. After putting it back on the table, the weight returned to normal. Shi Zhimeng experienced several of such miracles due to his sincerity towards Buddhism. Continuing to the southwest, they traveled 650 kilometers and arrived in Kapilavastu Kingdom, where they saw the Buddha's teeth, hair, and cranium relics. The footprints of the Buddha were still vivid. Shi Zhimeng also venerated the woods where the Buddha entered parinirvana. By the Bodhi tree, under which the Buddha conquered the devil named Mara, he worshipped an entire day, offering a treasured umbrella and cloak to shade the image of the Buddha conquering Mara. From afar, Shi Zhimeng caught sight of various miracles, such as the celestial ladder, which the Buddha used to step back down to earth after his sermon in Trayastrimsa heaven, and the dragon pool where Buddhists bathed and paid homage to the Buddha. Later, he came to the ancient capital of King Asoka, where a Brahmin wise man named Loyuezong promoted the Buddha Dharma. Hence Shi Zhimeng was respected and admired by the contemporary king. He built a 10-meter-high silver stupa. Seeing Shi Zhimeng coming, he then asked the traveler, "Do you practice Mahayana Buddhism in China?" Shi Zhimeng answered, "Mahayana only." The wise man marveled aloud, "It is rare. Have bodhisattvas gone there to preach?" Shi Zhimeng acquired copies of the Sanskrit Mahaparinirvana Sutra, the Mahasamjika Vinaya, and other sutras in Sanskrit. He vowed to make these doctrines circulate and thereupon returned to China. Shi Zhimeng returned from India in 424 CE. 3 companions died. On the way, and only he and Tanzuan came back together. He translated the Nirvana Sutra in Liangzhou, totaling 20 fascicles. In the 14th year of the Yuanjia period, he went to Sichuan. In the 7th month of the 16th year, he completed the voyage in foreign countries, describing details of his journey. He passed away in Chengdu in the last year of Yuanjia. I analyzed the travelogues of multiple monks who journeyed to the west. There are many differences. The locations of Buddha's bowl and cranium relic vary as well. I therefore speculate that different routes to India exist, and that the relics of the bowl and cranium changed their locations with time. Thus, the narratives by different people can hardly be consistent.